to Miss Cindy's Kitchen. We're going to be making burritos today, and it's a family recipe for like a quick lunch or to use up leftovers. And today we still have a little bit of the pulled pork from our previous episode remaining. So we're going to mix it together with some refried beans and some black beans. And it's up to you if you want to use standard refried beans that are made from pinto beans. We just happen to have black bean refried and some whole bean black beans. And then as far as the meat, you can use canned chicken, canned pork, or whatever leftover meat you have in your fridge that needs to be used up, as long as it's either shredded or chopped. And then you just mix it together in a bowl. This is something quick you can make for lunch after church or after running errands. This is one of those recipes that was born of convenience. I needed to make something for lunch, and pretty much everybody has tortillas and cheese and canned beans on hand and canned chicken or leftover meat. So I threw it all together in a mixing bowl and used it as burrito filling. So that's the pulled pork that we made the other day. And then we're going to add a can of black beans. They got great suction going on here. That. And then some whole bean black beans. And I didn't drain these ones yet, but they're kind of settled at the top. So I'll just kind of scoop them out without the meat, without the liquid at the bottom. Yeah, beans are kind of like sediment. They kind of settle over time. Let me just dump out the liquid into the container here. Now normally I rinse beans because they do have salt in them, but it's not too big of a deal. Plus you want to have a little bit of salt in your burritos. So, and then get a stiff spoon and just kind of mash up the refried and the leftover pork. Just give it a good stir. And it doesn't have to be completely pretty looking, it's just going to be burrito filling. And I'm going to add about a cup of cheese, because we all like cheese in our burritos. This is some taco seasoning, and it's some I got at our local grocery outlet, and I think it's really good. It's good for burritos and tacos. And then some bottled salsa. If you put your salsa in your burrito, it's just a little bit easier. I would say about a quarter cup, third cup. You don't want to put too much in there. And you're going to mix it all up. And this makes a lot of burritos actually, because you've got probably about a pound or pound and a half of meat, plus the 2 cans of beans, which are each about a pound or thereabouts, and then the cheese. You usually make a full pack of tortillas full of burritos, and then a little extra because they do keep well in the fridge. And then we can add a little bit of seasoned salt. We've brought this out several times in several recipes. It's a good all-purpose seasoning. It's been around since, I don't know how long, but we had it a lot when I was a kid. And now that we've got that stirred up, we're going to put some oil in the skillet. It's the tail end of the bottle. We're going to fry the burritos because that heats them all the way through and gives them a nice crisp texture. And we have these little things on our stove knobs because we have a dog who's a foodie as well, and will often get up on the stove to check out what's for dinner, and has actually turned the burner on. So if you have pets, be aware that they can turn on a gas stove, but usually just the gas. So when you turn on the gas or the flame, so just be aware that dogs can turn on stoves, because it actually did happen to us. So I warmed up the tortillas in the microwave because you need to have a little bit of flexibility to roll up the tortilla, and a wet paper towel so that way the tortillas don't dry out in the microwave. And it makes them more flexible that way.
Those are flour tortillas?
Flour tortillas. I think flour make the best burritos because they're the most pliable. And I use a cookie scoop mainly because it's an easier way to control how much you put in the burrito. Because everybody likes a fully stuffed burrito, but it's a pain in the butt to fold an overstuffed burrito.
Mm-hmm.
So just tuck it in on either end and then roll it. And then put it in the hot pan. And I have it kind of medium high. So just a couple scoops of filling. That way you've got enough room on either end to fold up and roll up your burritos. Because those are about the size of the frozen burritos that are pre-made. But homemade always tastes better. And again, this is a good way to pull ingredients from your pantry, or at the end of the week, use up your leftovers.
Where'd you learn to fold burritos like that? They look so easy.
Lots of practice, lots of burritos. And this cookie scoop is kind of a hand saver because it's got a rolling dial rather than a squeeze. Because there's two different types of levers on, it's more of an ice cream scoop type of scoop. The way the fastener is, it makes it so much easier on my hands. You only learn to fold burritos by lots of practice or just watching people do it. And in Bakersfield it's very Tex-Mex, so we have a very multilingual culture here, and we don't have a lot of Mexican food, and we have a lot of Mexican friends. So you just kind of fix whatever's easiest, and it's a good quick meal.
They use tongs.
Yeah, tongs. Yep. See, they got a little bit on the dark side of golden, but nobody really minds.
Did you put oil in there?
I put oil in the skillet. Just a little bit. It gives them a nice crisp crust. I didn't intend for them to get that golden, but they still taste good, and they're heated all the way through. So just flip them over. Whoops. That one kind of undressed itself as I flipped it over, so it's not ready to come out yet. So let me get the other burritos ready. So, got a fresh plate for the ones that are done. And see that they're golden on both sides? So they'll be hot in the middle. Be nice done. I'll pull these out and then I'll get some more going. So, alright, and that one's done. So, these aren't quite ready to come out yet, but this is ready to flip over now. There's that. And I will get a couple more in the skillet to replace the ones that are already done. So we're on our second round of burritos. And I turned the heat down because they were getting a little dark. And my husband likes them Cajun style like this, but not everybody does. So if they're starting to get too dark too fast, then turn your flame down. I cook on a gas stove, which I prefer over electric because I've had both in my days. I prefer gas because it heats more evenly and more consistently, and you tend to have more control over the flame because the heating element on an electric burner takes a long time to cool off, whereas a flame is there and it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little bit easier to control. But while these are cooking, the apron I have on today is a tribute to my late mother-in-law. She used to work selling food samples at Sam's Club. And when she passed away, I took some of her aprons home with me. So every time I wear this, I think of my mother-in-law Janet, as we lost her 8 years ago yesterday. So we're thinking about her a lot this weekend. And this time of year is Halloween time, and that was her favorite time of year.
It sure was.
So we have more burritos done.
Oh wow, look at those burritos.
So we got some for a meal and then some for leftovers, for snacks. You can take them for lunch the next day if you got to pack a lunch to go somewhere. You can use them for tailgate parties. Wherever you're going, these burritos are easy to make and take with you. And it uses up whatever leftover meat you've got in your fridge or whatever canned chicken you've got in your pantry.
What happens if you have if you still have filling left over and you've run out of tortillas?
Well, we've got a pot of rice cooking, so we can just have the filling over rice and just sprinkle some cheese on top and have it that way. Or if you've got some tortilla chips or even Doritos or something of the sort, you can use it as a dip.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah. So as you can tell, about 1.5 pounds of meat plus 2 cans of beans made all these burritos. There's probably at least 20 burritos here. And then we have a pot of rice cooking, and then that's going to be an easy, low-stress meal that uses up easy to find stuff and stuff you've got on hand. So if you need a quick meal when you get back from errands or church, you can throw together some homemade burritos and be done with them pretty quick. So thank you for watching us again today.
Thank you for watching Miss Cindy's Kitchen. To get more recipes like this one, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell for notifications when new videos are uploaded. Share it out to your friends, family, neighbors, and leave us a comment to let us know how this recipe worked for you. And don't forget to hit that like button. Again, thank you for watching Miss Cindy's Kitchen.